red flags. Now then, if you race bikes for any length of time, you are going to fall down occasionally. I can remember all that. When you do fall down, you're laying out on track, you're going to need attending to. To do that, at BSB, they can use the safety car. It goes out, the riders who are still on the bikes form up behind it at a safe speed, thereby allowing the marshals and the medical staff to get to the downed rider. But occasionally, the session or the race has to be stopped completely. Now, they do that with the use of a red flag. For you at home, a red flag situation is a really good opportunity for you to nip off to your kitchen and make yourself a nice cup of tea. But for everybody at the circuit, it's the busiest time you're ever going to get. The teams are trying to figure out, is there enough fuel in the bikes for restart? Do they have enough life left in the tyres, or do they need new ones? The race direction is trying to figure out the best way of cleaning the situation up. But ultimately, under red flags, we are all under the control of race director Stuart Higgs. Stuart, as race director, it falls to you to make some fairly big decisions up here. What happens, just talk us through what happens when there's an incident out on track.
Really, it's a team effort. I have my team of marshals and then my team of medical personnel and all the other officials and components which make up the race meeting. But essentially, I've got 25 communication points around the circuit, all talking direct to me by radio communications. They're alerting me of the incident in the first place, plus as technology's evolved, we have the broadcast feed and the closed circuit TV feed, so we're getting all these inputs all at the same time, so we're seeing and hearing what the situation is, and that allows us now to make the decisions of the response as quick as can be humanly achieved. I get a shout from a marshal, see the incident on the TV feed, and then I've got really, can it be cleared locally, does it need a safety car, does it need a red flag, or is there a medical response required as well? If there's a medical response, then that's where I've got my left-hand woman who sits next to me is Dr. Heike Roma. She's the Chief Medical Officer, and she oversees our team of medics, 25 medics at every single event, and they're deployed on the bank as ground post medics. They're in fast response medical cars. Then we have a team of absolute brilliant medics in the medical centre, and then we have access to things like medical helicopters and a great relationship with all the local hospitals as well.
Heike, just explain, there's a big incident out on track, there's a red flag. What happens in the medical centre?
Right, in the medical centre we're normally getting on seeing minor injuries, things like that. If we get a medical red flag, Kat, who listens to the radio, gives us a heads up.
Guys, medical red flag, kilo 15 leg.
And the team in the medical centre will actually come in here and start preparing. The staff, we've got 2 doctors per patient, we've got nurses, we've got a radiographer because we've got the X-ray machine through the Chris Jones Fund, so that helps us diagnose different problems. But the ambulance will turn up at the double doors, straight into the medical centre, onto one of these stretchers, and then the team start assessing.
Well, what I can tell you is, what they've got here is a fairly comprehensively equipped emergency room, in effect. And you wouldn't find a more professional and, I think, happier staff in any sport in the UK. But you've come in, you're a rider, the race is over for you for the time being, but it's quite possible you've left a big mess out on track. That job is for the marshals to sort out. Let's go and have a word with him. This is Pete Webb, Pit Lane Pete, as he's known in the trade, a bit of a legend around these parts. Now, Pete, there's been an incident on track. From a marshal's point of view, what happens next?
Initially, I go straight on the radio to race control. I have 2 fallers. Rider is still down. Would he stand by, which means he puts medics on standby. I can't deal with it myself, so I ask for kilo red medical.
That means red flags go out everywhere?
Red flags go out everywhere. Hopefully you can get the bikes off the circuit as quick as you can, which then means he can dispatch the medical boys to deal with the casualties.
And I guess you then let them get on with your job and start thinking about clearing the circuit and getting that ready to race again?
We are there to assist them if they need, but then from then on it's possible. Circuit staff clear up oil, tyre wall crew if we had damage, and anything else which has to be done. And once all vehicles are left, I can look round, assess the situation, evidence clear, base, we are now kilo green, and you will then hand over to the circuit, to pit lane staff, Jane and Karen, and they will issue whatever instructions he requires to the riders. We are ready to go.
The only people we haven't spoken to in all this are the people who are on track, the riders and the teams. Sean Muir is team owner and manager of the Milwaukee Yamaha setup, one of the larger teams in the paddock. Sean, there's a red flag out on track. It doesn't involve your riders, but the race is stopped. They come back in. What happens in the garage?
Well, first of all, I've got to clear the garage for all the guests and VIPs that we've got in here watching the race from the monitors. My job is keep direct control with the contact with the race direction upstairs through this radio, and then from then on I'm in contact with both my crew chiefs, one for James and one for Josh, through our own personal headsets. And at that point we've then got to work out how many laps have been running that race, first of all, and then work out the fuel usage. At that point we can then refuel the bikes when they come in, and we'd also put a new front and a new rear tyre in the bike, ready for the next session.
And what happens if it is one of your riders? They slid off, the thing's been stopped, but they don't hurt?
Well, the main thing is we've got to get them back to the paddock. Instead of coming, if they can ride the bike back, all the better. We know we can get it back out for the next session. Yep. But as you know, with the one bike rule, we've got all the pre-assembled parts in here to make a quick repair as fast as we possibly can. So all the brake levers, the rear sets, the subframes are all pre-assembled in parts sat in the middle of the workshop here. And we effectively have got to put that bike back together, get him on the track for a quick restart.
So there you go. When there's a red flag situation, everybody within the paddock has a lot of work to do. A little bit like the Swan, serene and graceful on top. Underneath, everybody's going mad.